In this video, I want to take a look at the Buckeyes. They had a bit of a breakthrough season last year. They've always been good in the Big Ten, but not really broken through, as they always were just a step below the conference powers, Indiana and Iowa. However, the power in the conference might be changing this season. In the last ESPN preseason poll, they were ranked number 6. In this video, we'll have a quick recap of their last season and who they've lost and gained going into the 2023-24 season. Before we start, I'm trying to grow the channel. If you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing. Your comments are always welcome, including your poison. Yes, I mispronounced names. Yeah, crush me on it. Mika Lashakova. How'd I do? Anyway, let's get into this. Now, the 2022-23 season started out strong for OSU. They got out to a fast start, 19-0, despite point guard J.C. Sheldon going out of the lineup after the 5th game due to an injury in her right foot. It was never revealed what the injury was, but it seems like it was a stress reaction or stress fracture or something like that, as she was in a moon boot for most of the season, basically. Her absence was covered by Madison Green, the backup point guard, but then she sustained an ACL injury. So prior to the ACL injury, they'd moved up to number 2 in the polls, and then after that, they went into a minor tailspin, going 5-6. Sheldon attempted a return in early February, but the Buckeyes got smashed by Maryland, and then she did not return until the Big Ten tournament. Now that is when their season sort of got restarted. In the semifinals against Indiana, they were down by 20 early on, but they were able to come back in the fourth quarter. They got crushed by Iowa in the championship game, but they were able to make a run in the NCAA tournament, upsetting UConn in the Sweet 16 and making the Elite 8 for the first time since 1992-93 season. Then they went down to Vatech as the press that they were able to sort of get UConn with, Virginia Tech just shredded it, basically. So there's a good foundation going into the 23-24 season. First off, the losses from last season. The big loss is Taylor Mikesell. She was the 40% three-point shooter, and she's currently trying to land a spot in the WNBA. She was cut by the Fever after training camp and then had a short stint with the Atlanta Dream, but then was cut. Now, losing Mikesell's shooting hurts, but fortunately for them, they did not sustain another loss, which could have been J.C. Sheldon. She actually decided to return for a 5th COVID year, saying, I just knew the group we had, the girls we had, the chemistry. We're just building off of it and getting better at it every day, and I wanted to be a part of that for this year. She says she didn't take a look at the WNBA or even investigate. She basically knew after the season ended that she wanted to come back. Now, her numbers were hindered last year due to her injury. The previous year, in 2021-22, she averaged 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists on over 50% shooting, and she shot 36% from beyond the arc. As well, she's a true point guard. If you watch the UConn game, Lopez Seneschal just single-handedly kept UConn into it. When it got tight, there was a possession down the stretch where they needed something, and she controlled the game and basically just sliced up UConn and got the ball to the right player. Now, including Sheldon, the Buckeyes will return 5 of their 6 scores from last year, all 5 of them averaging at least 10 points per game in the 2022-23 season. If you are an OSU fan, then you will be very excited about Big Ten Rookie of the Year 6-foot forward Cody McMahon, who averaged 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.4 assists last season as a freshman. She played on the under-19 U.S. gold medal winning team and averaged almost 9 points and 4 rebounds in 18 minutes per game. She loves taking players off the dribble and going to a spin move. She only shot 26% from three-point range on 57 attempts. Her development will obviously play a big factor in how far Ohio State goes. Can they make the jump to the Elite 8 or even a Final Four will depend on her development. Can she be that dominant star? Can she develop a mid-range game and sort of drive people to the elbow and then get her shot. I think that is why Ohio State potentially has so much upside, is basically her. Now, their big 6'4" Rebecca Mikolashikova got injured in February, and this resulted in Ebony Walker moving into the starting lineup, and she made the most of it, as that's when OSU went on their runs during the tournaments. They will likely battle it out for one of the forward positions. The other forward position would go to Taylor Thierry, who will also be returning. She averaged 13.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists a game. Now, not only the returners, but the Buckeyes got stronger through the portal. They added Celeste Taylor, the 5'11" guard from Duke. She will replace Mikesell at guard. She is not the three-point shooter that Mikesell was, but she should help make the OSU press unbelievably ugly for opponents, as she was the 2022-23 ACC Defensive Player of the Year and was a finalist for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award. Over her career, she's averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists, and 1.9 steals. She's basically a glue player. She shot 39% from the floor and 32% from three-point range. Now, OSU also added depth up front through the portal. They got 6'3" forward Tyre Parks from Michigan State. Parks joins the Buckeyes program after 4 years with the Spartans, during which she mainly came off the bench. She averaged 7.1 points and 5.5 rebounds per game. Now, another reason why this was a good signing was that Parks was considering going to Iowa, so they've sort of hurt Iowa a little bit. Their other signing through the portal was Kennedy Cambridge. She's a second-year guard who transferred from Kentucky. She averaged 2.7 points and 2.3 rebounds per game on 48% shooting. She will likely just be in a backup role behind Sheldon and Taylor. As well, she'd also likely be behind Ricky Harris, who also came off the bench last season. So when you look at the Buckeyes lineup, they'll have J.C. Sheldon at point, Celeste Taylor at off guard. I couldn't find anything about Madison Green's recovery, but she should be 12 months removed from her ACL surgery, so you think she would be right to be playing, and she would back up Sheldon as well. They have Ricky Harris, as I said before. Now, up front, they would have Taylor Thierry, who can swing probably between guard and forward. Then Cody McMahon as well. And then playing sort of the forward center role would be Walker or Parks or Mika Lasikova. They'll all battle for that last sort of spot, and they just have a lot of depth. I think that's why they'll be such a fun team. And they'll have the option whether if they want to go big or small, if they want to, if they go with Walker again, and then they could play small with her, and then you have Sheldon and Taylor and Thierry and McMahon just causing chaos with their press. But as well, if they get a matchup again like Virginia Tech, it'll be handy to have Parks, because in the game with them, they sort of struggled a bit at times with their big center, the Va-Tech center, whose name escapes me right now. But having Park and Mikolashikova, they're a big is always handy to have. So I think they should be a really good team. They're well coached as well. During the UConn game, UConn came out smoking. I can't remember the exact score, but I think UConn came out hitting threes, and they got up like 10-2 or 12-2, something like that. And Kevin McGuff got a timeout and settled them down. And then they went to the press, and they just slowly took over the game and just managed it really well the whole way through. He has an interesting story. I saw a little bit on him. He came up under Muffet McGraw and met his future wife, who was an assistant there, and he's just a crazy SOB. I say that because he has 6 kids. Speaking from experience with 5 kids, you got to be crazy to be a college basketball coach and have 6 kids. So full credit to him. I think this is quietly my new favorite team because somebody else is crazy to have a lot of kids like I am. Anyway, want to get your take. Do you think Ohio State can win the Big Ten? Do you think they can break through and take down Iowa, and Indiana? And then do you think they can make it Elite Eight or Final Four? I mean, anybody can make it, obviously, but what do you think their chances are? Anyway, I'd like to get your comments. All comments are welcome. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, really big help if you could give it a like. Thanks again for watching. Good night.